We're fixing those backs.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. So in reference to the last video that we did, and you went into more specifics about like how do we address, the pain that's being caused by, whatever previous like dysfunction or injury, and like how do we approach that from a rehabilitation standpoint. This specific exercise regarding the windmill, I want to get into more of like actually the skill of the windmill. Now, how can we improve on connecting the body to that rotation and getting that thoracic and getting my back to be able to twist and rotate the way I want it to.
Now, real quick, would you mind demonstrating just what a windmill is and maybe we'll tell people why it's so important?
Okay, sure. So
this is an old school exercise that's kind of making a comeback.
Yeah, a lot of people do it wrong though.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to do it too, and I could point my toes straight. I could kind of bring them over here at an angle, like a 45. I kind of tend to do both. This is the one that I tend to prefer. Now, the first thing that you have to realize is that we got to get good hip hinging. So we want to kind of karate chop at the hips. So as I'm coming down, I want to raise my arm first, and then we assess the shoulder mobility with this as well. So I want to make sure that I can bring my bicep all the way back towards my ear and then get full extension out of the elbow. Now I want to look up at my hand, karate chop those hips. Now I'm gonna reach on the inside of this opposite leg, and I wanna direct this down in a way where I wanna create this nice vertical line going from the floor to the ceiling. So all the way to the floor.
Back in the day, this was considered a staple exercise.
That's the line that we've made.
Unfortunately, it's not anymore, but it should be. Very few movements move you in these different planes. You're rotating, you're bending. It's very, very functional, very important. So you were going to show a movement to help people to be able to do that?
So now to just think about how can I direct this a little bit better as far as like creating that vertical line. Obviously, this is a nice vertical line by itself. So I'm going to place this on my lower back. And what I'm going to do first, if this is a problem for somebody to even get like depth or get like good rotation, I would have them slide the stick down further so they can either place it out in front of them to do this with more ease, but the closer that we can get to the inside of the leg here, the better. Now, this is already putting my other shoulder in a position where this is gonna put a lot of tension here if I don't have good mobility. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna rotate this hand. So now I'm around the stick, and I'm gonna look up at that hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and start here first. I'm gonna put my hand to the outside, karate chop the hips, bring it to the floor, look up at my hand, and then I'm gonna slide this arm down.
Wow, that's great.
In position. Now, in this position, to train my body to better acclimate, I'm gonna push down and engage my lats and my shoulders.
So you're pushing down with that top hand?
The top hand, and then I'm squeezing the bottom to and then I'm also simultaneously trying to open my chest more.
Oh, this line of stretch right here on the side of the body is incredible. And it feels so good when you can get into this position.
So you just want to reinforce that by
That's really what we're doing
that
right here,
tension.
right? Opening this all up.
Yeah, and a lot of back pain comes from these deep side muscles that we don't realize, like the quadratus lumborum. You're gonna alleviate some pain and maybe your
Well, explain why, right? These lateral muscles that are partially responsible for this transverse plane or moving in the frontal plane, which we just don't tend to do very much anymore. We stop as we get older. We stop rotating and transitioning like that, so those muscles become inactive and weak. And then all of a sudden you ask yourself to move a certain way, and that's where people get that, oh God, my back, and they don't realize that it's not really their back that was the problem, it's that you have these muscles that are dysfunctional because they haven't been working for so many years. So.
In fact, a lot of people who hurt their back lifting something off the ground do so because they lifted something and turned. You always hear that, oh, I picked something up and I turned to put it somewhere, and I felt a pop in my back. They've got no stability or strength in bending and twisting. These are movements that help get you stronger in that bend and twist. That's why we think the windmill exercise is so foundational, but this is a nice way to be able to do a better windmill or to get into a windmill.
I would say that something like this probably belongs in like our Prime program, right? MAPS Prime, where you're getting ready to prime your workout. You know this is a weak
Prime
area
or even MAPS Performance, I would say, either one. So.
And having strength in that movement, so that's essential. That's why we're creating that intrinsic tension.